Today is a good day for a ranking. Welcome to WWH. Thank you for joining us for an action-packed show. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and then become a member of the WWH Universe over on Patreon. Today, we're taking a look at my favorite subgenre of horror, slashers. More specifically, we're ranking my top 10 favorite slasher villains of all time. Now, this should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is my list, and it probably won't match up with yours. It shouldn't, because it's all opinion. My list is based a lot on nostalgia and on how cool I think the slashers are. I'm not necessarily commenting on how good the films or the franchise is as a whole. From worst to best, who will take the top spot, and what surprises will be on this list. Don't go anywhere because you don't want to miss this. But let's not stand on ceremony here, Mr. Wayne, and head right down to the ring to get this show started. Starting us off at number 10, Chucky. I know Chucky is iconic, but I've never been as endeared to him as some people. Brad Dourif does a phenomenal job, and Chucky has some great one-liners, and the franchise is still going today with the TV show, which I really enjoyed. Aside from the remake, it's been one actor to play the role, and that makes the character pretty unique in the genre.
Andy, no, please. We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
But all in all, this is probably the slasher film that I'm least likely to watch on this list, and that played a big part in Chucky's placement on the list. It's really good, but not my favorite by a long shot. Number 9, Norman Bates. The original Psycho is a horror classic, and one of the earliest slasher films, and Anthony Perkins played the character perfectly.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest oh so very delicately.
Then came Psycho 2, which to me is probably the most overlooked and underappreciated horror sequel. I might even prefer it over the original. 2 more movies, and after that a very good TV show make Norman Bates one of my favorites.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
He doesn't have the most unique or spectacular kills, but his psyche and the way he fights Mother within himself make him so interesting, and that's why he makes my list. Moving on now. Number 8, Leslie Vernon. Okay, I know he only has the one film, but that film is so good. It's a satirical look at slashers in which the major slasher villains all exist within the universe. He goes looking for his final girl, and all of the other tropes within the subgenre as well.
The business of supernatural killing sprees.
She's not exactly on board yet with the whole why we do what we do.
If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It really is a good movie. And I'm still holding out hope for the long-awaited sequel. Unfortunately, it doesn't really seem like that will be happening at this point, but nonetheless, I love this character and he deserves more recognition. Number 7, Jigsaw. John Kramer claimed he never killed anyone, but we all know that that's just crap.
I've never murdered anyone in my life. The decisions are up to them.
Yeah, well, putting a gun to someone's head and forcing them to pull the trigger is still a murder.
The best thing this killer has going for him is the uniqueness of his traps. And the gore is amazing. These films are not for people with weak stomachs. Any way that someone can be tortured, Jigsaw has thought of and implemented it.
Those who don't appreciate life do not deserve life.
There are some stinkers in this franchise, and he's not always the one behind the traps, so that does hold him back just a bit, but I still love this character. And Saw 10 comes out next month, and I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to see the return of John Kramer and see what he comes up with this time. Number 6, Freddy Krueger. This is another one of the iconic slasher villains that I've never been as big of a fan of as a lot of people. I love what Robert Englund brings to the character and how he can combine fear with the just joking comedy side.
Let's get high.
But later in the series, he just becomes a parody of himself. And bringing the character into the future with the meta context of New Nightmare made me love the character even more, but I just can't get past the cheesy, ridiculous films. Hopefully we get another film soon and continue with some more great Freddy moments. Number 5, Art the Clown. I really love this character. He's terrifying, pun intended, and violent while being goofy, but his goofiness isn't really annoying, it's just who he is as a clown. This character has appeared in a few different films, but only 2 standalone appearances thus far, with a third on the way. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Terrifier film, but I really enjoyed the second one. The first one was good without being good. The acting wasn't great, but the kills were very, very gory. And the second one was better on all accounts. The performances were good, the kills were taken up a notch, except for the one upside down saw kill. And the extremely long runtime didn't really bother me at all. I really can't wait to see what they do with the next installment. Number 4, Leatherface. I'm aware of how few good movies actually exist in this franchise. There might be 4 of them that are good, but regardless, the original film and its sequel are some of my favorite slasher movies. I love how unique the character is and how he can almost be sympathetic in a way without actually being sympathetic. The chainsaw is a really cool weapon for a killer to use, and really, if I'm being honest, it is mostly the love that I have for the OG that puts Leatherface here on my list. And with that, let's move forward as we come closer to our main event. Number 3, Jason Voorhees. Jason might be the slasher villain people think of most often. There are 12 films in the franchise, but 11 with Jason as the killer. His kills are, for the most part, brutal, and he uses whatever he can to kill people. Usually it is the machete though, and that hockey mask is iconic. And unlike most franchises, I can put any one of the Friday the 13th movies in and have a good time, bar 1 or 2 of them at best. Jason is just so imposing and completely horrifying. I can't even imagine being chased by someone who looks like that. It would scare the crap out of me. Number 2, Ghostface. Scream is definitely one of, if not the most consistently good franchises. There's not a bad movie in the franchise in my opinion. Even the third film I really like. Ghostface is unique because it's always somebody different, and they always have a similar but a different motive as well. It makes for a lot of fun. And starting with Scream 4, the gore became a lot more prevalent. And I love gore in horror movies. The last thing that I'll mention is Roger L. Jackson's voice is so menacing, and it was the perfect choice for the role.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm grateful that he has come back for every single sequel and even the 3rd season of the MTV series. It's almost time for our main event now, but we do have to take a quick break, so we will be right back with more WWH action. If you're looking to save 20% off of your order from Redcon1.com, look no further. I have the absolute perfect deal for you. Use code AndrewDreamer at checkout and you will receive 20% off your entire order. It's a really good discount and they have really great products. So go check their website out, get you some protein bars, get some t-shirts, anything you could possibly want, they will have. Go to their website, check them out, order you some stuff, use code AndrewDreamer at checkout for 20% off. We are back. Let's head back down to the ring for our main event. Number 1, Michael Myers. Probably does not come as much of a surprise given my previous videos and other rankings. But this one comes down to nostalgia for the most part. As far as I can remember, Mikey is the only horror character to ever actually give me nightmares. And I can still remember that dream very vividly. The original film from 1978 is a masterpiece in my opinion, and despite a few hiccups along the way, I think the sequels are really good. I'm kind of a nerd too, so the fact that they used a Shatner mask for the shape is freaking cool to me. I don't know where the franchise will go next, but I will always be excited for it. Whether it's another legacy sequel, a TV show, or a complete reboot, I'll be there for it. And that's the end of our list. I left most of these entries fairly vague, and that was purposefully, because I want you to let me know in the comments your thoughts on each of these killers, and let me know what your ranking is as well. It's almost October, and that's my favorite month of the year for several reasons. It's spooky season, and we are getting ready for it here at WWH. But it's time to wrap up our show now. Subscribe if you haven't done that already. Leave a like on this video. Check us out on Patreon and join the WWH Universe. We have a lot more WWH action coming your way. But until then, my name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.